What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another podcast. My boy Ray Jones in the building and your co-host, one and only bro Rhy. Anyways, y'all, this is the double R. I don't know. Lately, bro, I've been feeling like a title. We're still figuring out this title, but I've been just thinking like something around in real time because everything that we're doing with all of our audience is in real time for us in this moment, and we know this is going to live way beyond us. But I think something that's really important as we are moving forward is just like how do we share things in real time? So for those who are watching us now, they can rock with us and then just witness and experience all the stuff we're doing. But then also it's being digitally documented. So for all of our legacy, our children's, they can be like, yo, there goes our fam right there doing our thing. So we're still thinking about it, Ray. What are your thoughts on kind of like, I know we were talking about podcast titles, bro. Any thoughts, ideas, inspirations?
Bruh, in real time, man. I mean, in my gift, that's where I thrive in real time. If you ask me to, I don't say I can't plan, but if you ask me to solve a problem in real time, that's why I thrive. And but with you, realize that in real time, that's where we thrive. So absolutely, bro. If we want to go in real time, man, because that's what it is, keeping it real, keeping it organic, keeping it true, and just showing it what it is, the downfalls, the pitfalls, the risings, the elevation, everything that we do, that's keeping it in real time, man. So
Yes, sir.
I like it. Yeah, I
Yes,
like it.
sir. Yes, sir. All right, so we're gonna keep that one on the table. We definitely are just developing and letting it grow organically and dynamically. And what are we sharing with y'all in real time, y'all? We are sharing with you our journey, our current journey. As we said in the last pod, if you haven't checked that pod out, please check it out ASAP. We give a little history on how we met through the ETA, Eric Thomas and Associate ecosystem at Phenomenal Life 2022, and we have been in multiple programs and crossed paths so many times. We say, yo, bro, let's go ahead and do something together because we are both like-minded, like-hearted individuals that are all about our faith, our family, our legacy, aka our children, and more importantly, pouring out all that was poured into us to others, whether that be through the military, through Ray, through all of my communities that I serve in the schools and in the churches. But nonetheless, we want to continue just to give back, but we realize we can't do it alone, so we are in this mastermind coaching program with the one, the only ET, the hip-hop preacher, aka Dr. Eric Thomas, who is literally mentoring us on a weekly basis more than once. And Ray, let's be honest, bro, like, how are you feeling because of the ways that we've been able to have access to ET in these last couple of weeks?
Yo, man, it's and this, as you start to go through and you get past like the surface of who ET is, and and capturing you and I on this piece, man. It is in the community, man. He was talking yesterday about, it is the pack. Like, you're not alone in this. It is the pack. And ET, yes, he's the figure. He is the one that is inspired and motivated, encouraged, multiple people, but it is in his community that has really been the blessing. And understanding the people that are, I don't even want to say behind the scenes, but are in those supporting roles that are walking hand in hand with him, that has really elevated him to share his gift with us, to give us that direction, to give us that guidance, for him to be in his true, authentic self and provide it to us. So yes, we are being directly coached and guided by ETA, but like yesterday, talking to Mustafa, and then we had the business accelerator with Brandon. I thought that, yeah, we did the first people, the spiritual and even the personal development with E, but that business accelerator with Brandon was just, bro, that was fire. Yeah. So it's like in community.
Absolutely. No, I was telling one of my boys yesterday. I said that I'm in this new program because I've been through the speakers program, I've been through extreme execution, and now doing the UOU mastermind. And I was just telling my boy, like, with ET, the cool thing about this program is the access that we have to his whole team. Right, like ET is dope. I mean, like you said, he's a leader. Founder, like we always gonna have love. But once you get past that kind of like initial shock of like that, that like for me, I was like lightweight fanboy, you know what I'm saying? Like that celebrity, like oh it's ET, like Danielle would be like, yo, chill. Like, I ain't gonna lie, when I first saw him, bro, I'm getting all giddy. I'm not even going front. I'm that dude, five flight attendant. So I'm in my feelings. I'm like, dude, this dude changed my life. And he still is. But now it's like on a different level because not only are we getting access to him and the inspiration and motivation, but like you said, being able to spend time with Brandon, shout out to B Burn, shout out to Mustafa Gonum, shout out to even all of the team from the Game Changers Academy, Cantus, Coach Val, Aisha, the list goes on with all the different folks and seeing what it all took, like you said, community. And so I'm just thrilled that we get to see the background behind the scenes. Like the YouTube videos are like, now I look at, YouTube videos are like the only thing I look forward to every week in terms of motivation and stuff for myself. But now I'm like, yo, that's nothing. That's nothing compared to what we're experiencing now. So with that, bro, like, part of what we want to share with all of our listeners and our viewers, depending on how you're taking this podcast in, is being able to just share a nugget or two from our most recent session, and again in real time, just keeping it fresh for y'all. So Ray, I'm gonna shoot it over to you, bro. Like in the last session or two since the last time we met, what's probably been like one of the biggest nuggets or realizations that you've had, and then like how you've been moving with that?
So if you're not familiar with the flight assessment, the personality assessment, my bro Rhy is certified to educate you on that. But the biggest, man, just like I showed you yesterday, is from that East video of cry out, God doesn't want to put more talent in you. Like you have it in you already, but if you're not cultivating, if you're not nourishing, if you're not watering, if you're not intentionally giving it some love, you're gonna continue to be out there constantly looking for more. But bro, you are enough. Like you are enough. And the biggest pieces where you start is, creating that awareness of who you are, of who God created you to be, so that you can impact others naturally, like in your purest of heart and your purest of intentions, and in the most natural way. Like that level of awareness, man, has literally put me in a different space, that when I speak to people, I have intentionality behind it. When I do things, I have intentionality. But sometimes, bro, the awareness is there, but it's like this thing comes so easy to me that I gotta ask other people. That came from that business owner. I have to ask other people, what is it about me that irritates you, because I do it so seamlessly, that it comes so fluidly, that you're just like, I don't even know how you do it. It bothers me, but I'm gonna keep coming to you for this. And I was like, I don't even know what this, because it's so easy to me that I take it for granted. But I'm over here trying to get better at structuring documents and building platforms. That is not my gift. That's not it. But I'm over here trying to get more talents, and God's like, that's not what I gave you.
Yeah.
And like just having that piece, and having other people, like we did on the breakout sessions, of other people and them saying the same thing. Like they're saying it in their language, like of who they naturally are. But bro, we all facing the same struggles, because we're trying to do something that we are not gifted in. So as we go through this, go ahead.
Can I ask you this question though, real quick? So, and I'm curious to know, like you said, obviously, and I'll break it down in a moment, but about the whole flight assessment piece. But you said awareness. So what were you like prior to not having this awareness? Like, because now that you're, obviously you're more aware of it now, and you can speak to it, and you just said the gift is already in you. So what were you like, or what was it like prior? Like, what was the difference?
So I am naturally a problem solver. I'm naturally a pilot. And the higher you are in that, the higher your pace. And some people would say the more aggressive you are with getting solutions to things. And I recognize, just like, you remember like snippets when you think back and you're like, oh, okay, like I probably could have, who says speak to people.
Let me be more direct. I'm gonna be more direct, because I love how you're trying to dance around this as a pilot. So when was the first time you realized that your personality style was just straight up direct, results driven? What was the story? Give me a scenario. Like, how far back can you tell? Like you said, problem solving. Like, what's the one thing that where you're like, oh, this felt good. This was natural. We got something done, and you were like, there's something here. Like how far
Bruh,
back?
I can remember. I mean, we did, bruh. Like I worked at a liquor store stocking shelves when I was like 12. I would, and this is not on the moral side, but I would. The whole point was I wanted to make my own money, so I found it, got a job. I wanted to make more money, so then I was doing some unethical stuff and acquiring some materials from there and selling it at school. And but I always found a way that I was making the decision to solve the problem that I saw, which I just want to finance. Like I grew up in a I'll call it what it is, a trailer park. Like so, getting finances was it. But like as I progressed through my life, I worked at McDonald's, bro, and I would like my brother got me the job, and
Yeah.
within a matter of 3 or 4 months, like I was his supervisor,
Got
and
it.
then they would throw. I would come to work knowing you're not going to fire. You can't afford to fire me because I would show up and they would send 3 people home because I can handle this. And it was like,
Yeah.
yo, because I'm solving the problem. Like, what's the problem? Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
And then when I
Yeah.
think of my military career, man, like even in more, obviously, a more dynamic environment, I remember, and now I would know him as the guy was an air traffic controller, but one of my officers, and we'd be on mission, and I'm like, yo, like this is you need to make decisions instantly. I'd go give him the information. I'm like, I need a decision. He would sit there and be like, and I'm like, make a decision.
Yeah.
But I expected him to respond at the pace that I was speaking at,
Yeah.
that I was thinking at, and that wasn't him. Like he needed to receive, digest, internalize, think about his response. But I was like, bro, are you listening to me?
Yeah.
You know what? And I would snatch the radio up, and it's like, as we were talking about yesterday, like maybe you don't need to change up your style in moments, but in certain situations, like I could have. In that moment, yeah, there's
Oh yeah. Oh
military
yeah.
missions that there's a certain level, but that was always me, that level of aggression. I remember showing
Yeah.
up to a unit and he was a lieutenant colonel, battalion commander, and he looked at my resume. He was like, oh, okay, so you come from this background. Okay. He's like, we need more meat eaters. We need more
Yeah.
meat eaters in this unit.
Yeah.
Less than 60 days later, I was in his office getting a negative
Yeah.
counseling review about, bro, like
Tone it
you
down.
need it. I was like, yo, like this is just me. Like this is just
Yeah.
what's your problem?
So that was
But that
so what we
level,
yeah, so what we call that in our training, right? And when I work with clients, like that's the ungoverned pilot in you. Right, the ungoverned pilot, right, the immature pilot, right, that's
yeah,
that the old school Tom Cruise. So for those of you who listening, first of all, flight assessment is a personality assessment, just the quick and short, the quick and easy. It's a flight assessment that has been available for over 100, almost 100 years. Started with Dr. William Marston, and now ETA rebranded it. And the flight assessment, there's 4 characteristics. Pilots who are personality styles very direct and just fast paced. You have your flight attendant, which is I am a high flight attendant, which I am all about the experience and interacting with people and my feelings. And then you have the grounds crew, which are very supportive folks who are all mostly folks in the background, right? They're more introverted than they are extroverted, very just they like a steady pace. And then you have your air traffic control, your engineers, and this is their preference when it comes to procedures and being cautious and methodical, right? And they're very factual. So pilots and air traffic controls are very factual. One is fast paced, one is slow paced. Flight attendants and grounds crew folks are very emotional. One is extroverted and one is introverted. One is fast paced, one is slow paced. So on this show for y'all, we have a high pilot and a high flight attendant. So we have again someone, we both move fast. One moves in facts, the other moves in feelings. So you're going to get a lot of that. However, for all of our folks who are just new to this, just know that we have all four in us. And as we coach the program, it's about knowing when to step into your preference and knowing when to change your preference, and not preference, change your personality style. So for example, right, I always tell myself, like, I know when I need to be my high flight attendant, but I also know when I need to be more of a pilot or decision maker, more of a air traffic control, even though they're not my preferences, and even though they're not my my highest, say, scores. What I'm learning is I either go to the people or the principal that's going to help me in that area. So it doesn't mean I can turn on my air traffic control and now I'm going to be the best engineer. No, it means I'm going to partner with someone who is that
yeah.
naturally, and they're either going to guide me, support me, or depending on the job, they may do it for me and I might just pay them, because then again, I can stay in the preference. But one thing I wanted to share, my kind of nugget, was the idea that performance over preference. So now that we're kind of talking about personality styles, and if you're not sure what your style is, go to discoveryourdisc.com. I'm going to put the link in the description below so that we can get you hooked up with an assessment. Again, this is the disc assessment, which has been around for a long time, rebranded under flight assessment. So nonetheless, one thing that really struck me this last week was this idea of performance over preference. Right, we all have a preference on how we want to do things, how we like things, and I love it when Moose was talking to one of our folks, and he was like, "This is what's producing fruit, but what I really want to do is," and then Moose was like, "Shut the door on that. Shut the
Yeah.
door on what you want to do, and keep the door open on what's producing fruit." And for a lot of us, that's hard to do, because we're working a 9 to 5, and it's making us, some money, but we want to do something else. And I love Moose's point where, like, do what's working for you now, close that door for now until you get to that point, until you get enough results where you can open that door and actually deliver. And I think for many of us, myself included, is where, the quick little 1 minute story of what Danielle told me over the weekend. We had a very hard conversation, my wife and I, because I'm all over the place as a flight attendant, ideas everywhere, and not finishing them is a limitation and is actually a weakness of flight attendants, because we start, but we start, stop, and then we don't finish. And her frustration, being married almost 15 years, together 17 years, was like, I love you, I love what you do, I believe in you. I'm not gonna rock with you if I didn't think you had it in you. But the problem and the struggle I have, and she was, damn near in tears, bro. She was just like, but you don't finish. Just finish, do one thing and go all the way. No one knows you. She was like, yo, no one knows you. No one knows your name. Yes, you have your little pockets of areas where you've spoke to thousands of kids and students in conference, but no one knows you. You need to be international. And she was like, 3 years. 3 years. This is what you're going to do. And she was like, super direct. Here's a plan. She was like, there's people who want you. She was like, and the thing that struck me the most, and I'm going to hand it back over to you, but I was like, she said, the people that you have called, she goes, did you call back the people that gave you their card in Colorado Springs at one of the events I spoke at? I said, no. She said, how come? I said, because I didn't follow through, which I know is my weakness. I said it again. I don't follow through. I'm not good at follow through. I'm good at the experience. I'm good at the upfront, but the performance, getting the task done, that's not my skill. So I haven't called. And she says, you know what? Every person that gave you a card probably feels like you don't care. She goes, if I gave you my card and said, please call me, that's me telling you, you have something that I don't have. You have something that my kids need. You have something. God is in you. And I want to bring that to my church, my this, my that. Whoever gave you a card, and you not calling them is just telling them that you don't care. Bruh, the car was so quiet. I started tearing because I was like, as a flight attendant, in my feelings, I'm not a person that doesn't. It's actually the opposite. But my preference and my behavior, my adaptive, my tendency to just pull away and whatever, bro, like that came up for me, and it was like, she was like, just make the call. Like, actually very direct. Just call. When you get on the phone, you're going to know what to say. You're going to do what you do best. You're going to turn it on because that's who you are. But if you don't call, you don't care. And I was just like, wow. Like, bro, it was a very sobering moment in our marriage, because she's like, you want to fly first class. You want this. You could do it, but you got to make the call. You complain about not having this, that, or being able to all these, but you have a gift. And just like what you said earlier, it's already in you. So when we've been in training saying, what's the one thing you could do right now that's going to move the needle? She's like, you've already been doing it, but you just are lazy or just not following through. And so yeah, it's been my takeaway, bro. It's been a crazy ride so far, only these first 2 weeks, but I'm just in that space now of like, my wife is the one, she said, kill the noise, cut everything else out. Anything, just hear the 3 things that you need to do. And just do that for 90 days. And then the last thing before I let you finish, bro, she said, I don't care about ET, and not in a like she don't care about him, but like I don't care about you, your team, whatever you're doing, in the sense of you need to do this for me. I've been riding with you for 17 years. Stop doing this for everyone else and do this for me. And she was, I was like, this, bro. I was like, dude, I was like, take it out. Like, bro, I felt, dude, that was a very low, sobering moment for me, but it was her reality. Her reality was like, I'm tired of you trying to impress all these other people and do it for me. And I asked you just to do what I asked you to do because I see it in you. I'm not here because I think you're gonna be great. I am because you are great. But you're trying to do it for this, that, and all these other people. But just do it for me, for one. And I was just like, that was it. That was
Bro,
it.
what a beautiful example of bringing this full circle though. If you don't understand the personality of the individuals that you are in relations with, whether it's romantic, whether it's business, whether it is just, through passing, how is someone going to take that type of feedback? Especially if you're an emotional person and you don't understand that this is just who they naturally are. And she's actually in her gift and giving you nourishment to operate at your highest capacity. And that's where, like we talk about, that level of awareness of not just recognizing who you are, but why you are the way you are, and then recognizing who the people are in your life and why they are the way they are. And I don't need a bunch of other pilots around me. Bro, I'm a high pilot. My secondary is a high flight attendant. I'm a 90. Well, from the assessment, the disc originally 99 and an 87. And then my other two are like 17 and 12. So I'm not going on principle. I'm finding the people. But her giving you that, quiet the noise and focus on what's in front of you. Her and I had that conversation in not that specific, but in Mexico about real estate. And I'm like, yo, if you want it, what are we doing? Go get it. It's there. Take the steps. And what got me to this position, man, and you're actually saying, I didn't want to do real estate. I don't even like real estate. I'm not in my feelings. I don't care what it looks like, the before and after. I don't care about the people that are going in there. Yo, what is the results? I wanted to create the opportunity for me and my family to have enough passive income that when I retired, I didn't have to go look for a job. That was the results. I didn't it's not even until literally almost 4 years later that I'm now stepping into something that I actually truly enjoy: coaching, building a website, working, talking with you on a podcast. These are the things that actually give me energy. But bro, the diligent hand, we always want to, I got it up on here, man, Galatians 6:9, let's not get weary in doing well, for in due season. And I don't know what due season is for you, but sometimes we need people to let us know, yo, due season is 3 years from now. You said you want it. Let's do it. But don't get tired of what you're already doing. You just need to execute at a higher level so you can get the fruit and get the results. But we often want to sow, but we don't want to reap. Reaping takes a whole nother, comes with a whole nother set of skills, tools, and energy. We think that, we sowed this, now we're just going to get it. Nah, that takes work.
That's right.
But a different skill set. And this is what this is about. Us. We are reaping in a season of something. We prayed for something like this when we first started. Bro, now we in it. But it's not just tape, bro. We supposed to do it once every Monday. Now it's every Sunday morning. And then we get this. And he's like, yo, I'm going to do one every single day. And it's like, yo, we're reaping, but we know where this is going to go.
That's right.
We just have to be obedient. We got to give that energy.
Yeah, we got to be obedient to what we wanted. And I just feel like just what you're saying, I got goosebumps just thinking about what you said, because people want the fruits, but they ain't got the roots. Number one, right? I always say your inner roots will represent on your outer fruits. So it's like if your roots ain't deep, if your roots aren't even deep, then, and if they're not pure, and if they're not guided, correctly, right, your fruits are gonna come out whack. And so, like you said, bro, in Galatians, yo, we gotta do the work. But now that we're in it, it's like, for me anyway, as much as it can seem like an uphill battle, which it is, one thing that I feel so confident about is we are all gonna get to the other side.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like me and
yeah.
you, the folks who are like literally getting in and getting their getting their hands dirty and putting in the work, bro. Like I feel like they're gonna get results. So I'm gonna end my piece here, and then I'm gonna let you say the final thoughts, Ray's final thoughts. But my final like call to action is we are on this whole idea right now, just this phase of thinking results. So the question I'm gonna ask and pose to all of our listeners and our viewers, and thank y'all for rocking with us, is what is the next best step for you to get a result in the direction you want to go? What is the next best step for you to get a result in the direction that you're going? And instead of focusing on, that long term, which we all get caught up in, and which is what I think discourages a lot of people, it's a whole nother pod. We got to just take that little step, footprints in the sand. God got you when you on that solo. Small steps, great distances. We hear it all the time. So, yeah, ask yourself, reflect on that. And the next pod, I think I'm inspired, just going to throw it out there. And Ray, let me know what you think. But I think the next pod, we should definitely talk on why it's important to have not just the community, but the coaching. I think that's going to be a huge, part of why we're taking coaching and why we're coaching others. I think is a topic that we should touch on. But final thoughts, Ray.
Absolutely.
Call to action in real time. Let the give the good people the good word, my bro.
Man, I had to look it up just to make sure I give him the right reference. He said the actions you're gonna take to get the results, whatever the results are, whatever that is, whether it's financial, whether it's relational, whatever it is you want that you have a result. And I looked up Matthew chapter 9 verse 35. Yo, the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Yo, there's a bounty out there for you. There's a bounty out there for us. You just don't want to do the work. You don't want to take those action steps to get it. You know the issue and you know the results you want, but that whole middle piece of taking those steps, of creating those action steps, of actually doing them, you don't want to do it because people don't want to work. But the good word tells us, hey, the bounty is plentiful, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. So you wonder why it's called the 1% Club. It's up to you. Don't just look at the issue and the result. Identify the actions. Do it. Do it.
On that note, beautiful. Thank you for closing us out with that word, y'all. So there are the nuggets from us this week. Be sure to tune in. Thank you for again checking out the pod, rocking with us. Definitely share the pod. Drop a comment. Let us know. Leave us a review because at the end of the day, we want to continue to serve you value. So Ray, my bro, I love that ending, man. So we're just gonna keep it there. Till next time, y'all. We will see you, or y'all will hear us next week. God bless. Take care. To the next one. Peace.
Like, bruh. Peace.
Yeet.